Good afternoon, K-students, and welcome to a new week of learning. In today's lesson in science, we're going to have our second part of lesson 2, which is Engineer It. How can we use a design process? And the objective of our lesson is to use observations and questions to identify engineers as workers who find solutions to problems. So let's begin with our lesson. Who are engineers? Well, engineers are workers who find solutions to problems with their inventions. An engineer follows the following steps. Step 1. Determine the problem. Step 2. Ask questions. Step 3. Make a prediction. Step 4. Investigate. And finally, Step 5. Come up with a solution for the problem. Let's talk about the development of transportation in the past and how it was very slow and difficult as people used animals like horses to transport loads. Thanks to engineers, transportation problems have been solved as they developed new means of transportation that facilitated our lives, such as planes, cars, and trains. Think about the electrical devices that you or your family members use regularly in your house. Well, engineers design different electrical devices such as laptops, fridges, microwaves, and many more to meet our daily needs. Now, let's talk about the steps of a design process. A design process is a set of 5 steps that engineers follow to solve problems. In today's lesson, we will introduce the first 2 steps, which are define a problem and plan and build. Step 1. Define a problem. Let's look at this scene in front of us where we see a little girl standing by the river. This girl has a problem. She can't find a way to cross the river. Now, this little girl has to brainstorm ideas. What about a bridge? Or using a hot air balloon, which can take her to the other side of the river? Step 2. Plan and build. Engineers have to plan and build a design which will help this little girl solve her problem. And in this case, engineers have built a bridge which will help this little girl cross the river. Let's start solving our first exercise on page 19 in our science book. And here we have a picture of a baseball field. And our question is, where would you put lights so people can see when it is dark? Draw an X on the places where you think lights should go. Very good. Let's draw an X behind the bleachers on the left. Let's also draw an X behind the bleachers on the right side of the picture. Let's also draw an X beside the green car on the road. And finally, let's draw an X beside the popcorn shop. Moving on to solve our second exercise on page 20. And here we will talk about the first 2 steps of a design process. Step 1. Define a problem. The kids here have to define a problem that needs solving. And in this case, their problem is that the desk is very crowded. Step 2. Plan and build. These kids have to plan a design, then build a model. Our question for this exercise is to circle the children building models of their design. Very good. Let's circle the picture below. This picture shows the kids building towers where they can put their objects on these towers. And finally, let's solve our last exercise on page 21. In this exercise, we will see a picture of the two towers that the kids have built in the previous exercise. These towers are two possible solutions to the problem that the kids have faced. The question for this exercise is, circle the cylinder. Well done! Let's circle the blue tower. This tower is shaped like a cylinder. Excellent job, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.